Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to travel through time to understand how Japan became one of the most powerful countries in the world. Today, Japan is known for its technology, its economy, and its global influence. But 150 years ago, Japan was a completely isolated nation. More than 2,000 years ago, Japan was not one country. It was a group of small villages spread across mountainous islands. The people lived close to nature. They fished in the sea and grew rice in the valleys. They believed that gods lived everywhere, in the mountains, in the rivers, and even inside the trees. Slowly, some villages became bigger. Some leaders became more powerful. These leaders wanted to control more land and more people. And so the small villages began to unite into powerful clans. Each clan had a chief. The chiefs fought each other for land and power. Alliances were made and broken. But one clan slowly became stronger than all the others. They claimed to be descendants of the sun goddess Amaterasu, and people began to believe their story. This clan became the imperial family, and the first emperor of Japan was born. But the early emperors did not fully control the land. The clans were still powerful. So Japan looked across the sea for new ideas. China was a great civilization. It had writing, laws, and powerful ideas about government. Japanese scholars traveled there to learn. From China, Japan also discovered Buddhism, a religion that taught peace, wisdom, and meditation. Japan began to change quickly. The emperor built a capital city called Nara. Later, the capital moved to Kyoto. Kyoto became the center of Japanese culture. Poets wrote, artists painted, and monks built temples. Even though the emperor was respected, he no longer held real power. The powerful clans controlled the land, the armies, and the wealth of the country. During this time, a new type of warrior appeared. They were called samurai. The samurai followed a strict code of honor. They believed in loyalty, discipline, and courage. For hundreds of years, Japan was ruled by samurai warriors. The most powerful samurai became military leaders called shoguns. The shogun controlled the country. Japanese society became organized into strict roles: samurai at the top, farmers below them, craftsmen next, and merchants at the bottom. But this was also a time of constant war. Samurai clans fought each other for power and land. Despite the wars, Japanese culture grew stronger. Samurai practiced martial arts, poetry, and the famous tea ceremony. But the outside world was changing, and soon the world would knock on Japan's door. In the year 1853, something strange appeared in Tokyo Bay. Large black ships arrived from America. The ships were huge. They had steam engines and powerful cannons. The Japanese had never seen anything like them. The Americans brought a letter from the President of the United States. It demanded that Japan open its ports and trade with the world. Some samurai wanted to fight the foreigners. Others believed Japan must learn from them or risk being destroyed. Soon something incredible happened. The emperor returned to power. This moment became known as the Meiji Restoration. Japan began to change faster than almost any country in history. Factories were built, railroads were constructed, a modern army was created. Japan sent students to Europe and America. They returned with new knowledge about science, technology, and government. In just 50 years, Japan transformed from an isolated country into a powerful modern nation. Japan wanted to be respected by the world, so it began building an empire across Asia. Eventually, Japan entered the largest conflict in history, World War II. At first, Japan won many battles, but slowly the war began to turn against them. Japanese cities were heavily bombed. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed. Then the world saw something it had never seen before. An atomic bomb destroyed the city of Hiroshima. In 1945, Japan surrendered. The war was finally over. The country was devastated. Cities were destroyed and millions of people had lost everything. But the Japanese people did not give up. They began rebuilding their country piece by piece. Factories opened again. New companies appeared. Japan began producing cars, electronics, and technology. Within a few decades, Japan became one of the richest countries in the world. Today, Japan is a unique country where ancient traditions live beside modern technology. From small villages to a global power, Japan's story shows that even after great loss, a nation can rebuild and become stronger than ever. Japan became famous not only for rebuilding its economy, but also for innovation. Japanese companies created some of the most advanced technologies in the world. Japanese companies like Toyota and Honda changed the global car industry forever. Japan also built one of the fastest train systems in the world, the famous Shinkansen bullet train. Japanese culture also became popular around the world. Anime, food, fashion, and traditions spread across the globe. But even with all this modern technology, Japan never forgot its traditions. The spirit of the samurai still lives in Japanese values like discipline, honor, and hard work. Today, Tokyo is one of the largest and most advanced cities on Earth. Japan now influences the world through technology, culture, and innovation. Japan's story teaches us that change can be difficult, but it can also lead to incredible progress. From ancient villages to one of the most powerful countries in the world, Japan's journey is one of resilience, innovation, and determination. Japanese classroom with students studying mathematics and science, modern education environment in Japan, cinematic lighting, ultra-detailed 4K. Japanese culture began to emphasize discipline and hard work. Factories across Japan began producing electronics, machinery, and automobiles. Companies like Sony helped bring Japanese technology to the entire world. Japan also became one of the world leaders in robotics. Japanese cities continued to grow larger and more advanced. Japan built one of the most advanced transportation systems in the world. Mount Fuji became one of the most recognizable symbols of Japan. Japanese engineers continued to push the limits of innovation. Japanese culture began influencing the entire world. Tokyo became one of the most vibrant cities on Earth. Even with modern technology, Japan kept its ancient traditions. The tea ceremony remains one of the most respected traditions. The spirit of the samurai still inspires Japanese culture today. Today, Japan stands as one of the most powerful and advanced countries in the world. Japan's journey shows that determination can transform an entire nation. From ancient villages to a global power, Japan's story is truly remarkable. It is a story of resilience, discipline, and innovation, and it continues to inspire the world today. One of the most important parts of Japan's success is its work ethic. People in Japan are known for their discipline and dedication. During the late 20th century, Japanese technology began spreading across the world. Japanese companies became famous for televisions, cameras, and music players. Japan also changed entertainment through video games. Japanese animation, known as anime, became popular across the entire world. Tokyo grew into one of the busiest cities on Earth. Modern Japanese architecture became famous for its innovation and design. Japan also built one of the fastest rail systems in the world. Japanese food also became popular around the world. Japanese fashion became known for its creativity and bold styles. Traditional festivals continue to celebrate Japan's history and culture. Kyoto still holds many of Japan's ancient temples and traditions. Japanese philosophy also influenced the world through ideas like Zen. Today, Japanese scientists continue pushing the limits of technology. Japanese cities are becoming smarter and more connected every year. Even with modern progress, Japan still respects nature deeply. Mount Fuji continues to symbolize the spirit of Japan. Japan continues moving forward, shaping the future with technology and creativity. The story of Japan reminds us that resilience can change the destiny of a nation. From isolation to global power, Japan's journey continues to inspire the world. It is a story of resilience, discipline, and the courage to change. A reminder that even the smallest nation can shape the future of the world. From isolation to global power, Japan's journey continues to inspire the world. It is a country where ancient traditions live beside modern technology, where temples and skyscrapers exist in the same city. Japan's history teaches us that change is never easy, but sometimes change is necessary for survival, and the nations that adapt are the ones that grow stronger. Discipline and dedication became the foundation of Japan's success. Generation after generation worked to rebuild and improve their country.
After war and destruction, Japan rebuilt itself step by step. What once looked impossible slowly became reality. Today, Japan influences the world through technology, culture, and innovation. From robotics and cars to anime and cuisine. And the story of Japan is still being written. Every year, the country continues to innovate and shape the future. Japan reminds us that even the most difficult challenges can lead to new beginnings. Sometimes the greatest strength of a nation is its ability to rebuild. From small villages surrounded by forests to one of the most powerful countries in the world, Japan's story is truly remarkable, and its journey continues to inspire millions of people around the world. The strength of Japan did not come only from technology or wealth. It came from the determination of its people. Generation after generation continued building the country. Japan found a rare balance between the past and the future. Ancient traditions remain alive even in the most modern cities. This balance helped Japan maintain its identity while adapting to a changing world. Today, Japan continues to lead in innovation. From robotics and artificial intelligence to sustainable technology, Japan reminds us that progress is never easy, but determination can turn even the greatest challenges into opportunity. It is a story of resilience, a story of discipline, and a story of people who refused to give up. From ancient villages hidden in mountains to one of the most advanced nations on Earth, Japan's journey is one of the most remarkable transformations in history, and its story is still being written today, a story that continues to inspire the entire world. Japan's story did not end with its rise to power. Every generation continues to shape the country in new ways, and the journey that began thousands of years ago still continues today. From small villages surrounded by mountains to one of the most powerful and innovative nations in the world, Japan's journey reminds us that history is not just about the past, it is about the future we continue to build.